Number 3, clearing farmlands in the Dominican Republic. Maybe I'll label this one how to clear aromas for farming in the Dominican Republic, so it can help somebody. Because this lesson has been a hard learned one. Chop the trees down, let them dry up a little bit. Although it's not really necessary if the fire is hot enough, because these suckers are such useless trees. These ones right here, that they really don't have much of a moisture content in them. There we go, these guys behind me. And so you can cut them down and then just burn them fresh. But if you want to take a sequential approach, step 1, cut them down, let them burn, dry out. Step 2, burn them. Step 3, use Rayo plant killer, go around and spray isolated douses on each one of the stumps in order to stop it come back. If you do not do one of those steps, these will come back. They come back with a passion, with an enthusiasm. And this whole week I've been talking about this in regards to habits, bad habits. How 2 years ago, got this property, it was exciting, and these trees didn't exist. And then over 2 years, just like bad habits, they grew and grew and grew, and then pretty much made this land unusable, unproductive, non-producing. And that's how habits can work in your life. So, question to you, because if you feel so bold, what bad habit do you have that you're like, yeah, this thing, I used to do for fun? Drinking, smoking, and those are like the demons, right? Well, I don't drink or smoke. How about staring at your phone? You got one of those calculators on the phone. I think everyone does, where it says like, okay, you've spent this much time in the day looking at your screen, and then you ask yourself, like, am I producing much during that time? Because maybe that's it. That's kind of been the main feedback I've gotten from people I've been talking about as far as the habit they want to break is their technology addiction. And because it's easy and it gives us quick dopamine. And so, but you can see how fast it takes over when you can look at and measure it. So, day 3, video 1. I think it's day 3. I don't know. So I've been working in 100-degree heat for the last week, so my brain's a little bit fried. And the lesson of today is actually this one right here. Here we go. So if you can see my feet, I'm wearing Chacos. I was wearing closed-toe shoes up to this point. But the thing that's been driving me the most nuts and having the most negative impact on my mental status is these little suckers on the ground, little spikes on them. And they hook on the shoes and they stab into the shoes, and then they stab into my feet, or they hook into my shoes, swoop around, scratch my legs up. And in previous videos I said, it's just like a little annoyance that bothered me, but it wasn't enough to stop me, although it was enough to dampen my mood, which really, it's like, you gotta live with yourself. So if you're in a bad mood doing whatever you have to do, it's kind of makes my life a little miserable, doesn't it? And especially when it comes to killing bad habits and for things that need to get done. And so there's 2 options: A, don't do it, or B, suck it up. But then, you know what? Today, my other shoes are so full of thorns that if I just simply put pressure on it, they stab my feet. And so I have to then go and pull out each one of these thorns. And it's like a ton. I'm like, I got a lot of work to do. I don't really want to spend the time doing that. So instead, I wore Chacos. I wore a more vulnerable status. And here's the interesting thing, is that pretty early on in the day, rather than continuing to let these suckers hook my feet, because now they're hooking my feet, these little death branches here, instead of just hooking my legs, they're hooking my toes. And I'm like, fuck, forget this. So I got a rake, and then I'm like raking up all these things. So in essence, by putting myself in a more vulnerable state, my brain immediately came up with a solution to my biggest annoyance. And now I got 2 piles burning. I'm making great progress moving forward. So the takeaway for today with killing habits is often our brain will want to move us towards comfort. So for example, for technology addiction, if you're If you're like, that's the thing I want to break or whatever it is. And if it's, you find yourself fixated on it, make yourself a little more uncomfortable. Meaning, for example, I gave this morning my Facebook Live, if you have your phone on you, you're more likely to use it and stare at it. But what if you make yourself a little more comfortable, keep that phone on you, and instead of avoiding it, be like, I'm gonna leave my phone at home, I'm not gonna bring it with me, I'm just gonna unplug, rather than letting the lack this to determine your success. What if instead you use your phone to connect or create or move? I mean, you can do like yoga videos on your phone, or exercise. In fact, I'm developing a program right now, which is the blueprint for brain body calibration, and all of that is going to be built into training people how to move, connect, and create. Because the whole avoiding things is not a super good long-term strategy. Because last time I checked, technology is increasing. Last time I checked, all the things that are bad habits are increasing, become more socially acceptable. So either A, you move out to the Dominican Republic, which there's lots of opportunity here. So if you want to learn how to do that, I'd be happy to start doing tutorials on that. Or B, start increasing your ability to adapt and become resilient to the thing that you're subject to. Make yourself more vulnerable to it in order to become smarter with adapting to it.